Welcome back, everybody. This is the wrap-up episode to our safari in Tanzania. In this episode, we have a variety of stuff coming. We have a market visit, we have time with the Maasai tribe, and of course we have a little bit of a game drive as well. So stay tuned, we've got lots to see.
So we were up bright and early for our final day of game drives in the Ngorongoro crater. Now I've heard some folks in Ottawa complaining about the traffic there. We had traffic as well. We had a few Jeeps headed down the cobblestone into the crater, not bad at all. But then, look at the gridlock we encountered here.
The crater formed about 2.5 million years ago due to volcanic activity. The crater itself is pretty neat. It's like its own kind of oasis. The animals don't migrate here. They have everything they need. They have water, there's a lake, they have forests, they have plains. So it's pretty neat. One of the major draws here, even in just the 100 square miles, is that you get to see rhinos. So this was our mission for the day. Our driver Eric was very determined that we would see a rhino, and we actually did see a rhino. It was pretty hard to get a good shot. It was walking away. It was pretty far away, so we saw it through binoculars. We really didn't get much on camera, but we did indeed see the last of the big five. We saw a rhino.
We enjoyed it through our binoculars a little too long, perhaps. I just wanted to enjoy actually seeing one. This was the last of the big five. The big five being the lions, leopards, elephants, buffalo, and finally the rhino. So we ticked all of them off the list, and thanks to Eric for his perseverance. Here's a few more shots of that final game drive in the Ngorongoro crater. After our game drive, we were off to Karatu and the Toloma Lodge for a nice stay there, a nice swimming pool. I did get to see one more big cat as well. And then it was off to Arusha the next day for the market.
Yeah, when we had a guide for this market tour, Frank, he was great. The market is more for locals. It's kind of everything, vegetables, chickens, cooked or raw, or barbecued, however you'd like them. A little bit of everything here. There were spices, there were vegetables. We got to meet Mr. Spice, who is selling spices. That's one thing I guess tourists can take home, so one place they go to. Just really cool to kind of see the local people. The people working in the village and the people actually buying stuff were super nice. People would say hello. Anyway, cool to see how things happen in the big city.
Now our final stay was especially unique. We get to stay with members of the Maasai tribe. So the Maasai, there are about 1 million of them in Kenya and northern Tanzania, and they are semi-nomadic. They travel with their herds of goats and cattle to different grazing areas throughout the year. But among other enterprises, they actually have a lodge where tourists like us could go and spend a couple of days with them and enjoy some of their cuisine, some of their culture, a nice nature walk, just a beautiful accommodation as well. And this was also the first time we'd enjoyed any music in a while. And so here's a little shot of some of the singing and dancing that they put on each evening before dinner. The Maasai, just like the Kati Kati Lodge, they had a television. In this case, it was MTV, Maasai television. And they also did some cooking over that before our proper dinner in the dining room. So here's a few shots around the fire, around the accommodation. Here's a view actually from sitting on the toilet. This was the view that we had. Pretty spectacular.
Our last activity in Tanzania was hiking. We got to actually hike the Shira Plateau, which is kind of in the lowlands of Kilimanjaro. We had a guide, Abdi. He was excellent. He actually takes full groups up to the summit of Kilimanjaro, so we got to learn a little bit about how all that works, the porters they need, and how exhausting it must be. So even with us, our hike was at about 3,500 meters. Enough elevation that we felt it when we were doing the hills. We could really feel ourselves breathing hard and it taking a little bit extra time. We got to the first campsite, and this is for one of the routes up to the summit, and there was nobody camping there, so it was just us and the ravens. But it was kind of cool to have a taste of what it would really be like, but nothing too hard for us, just a short kind of 3 hours, and then we get to have lunch after. And that's a wrap for Tanzania. So we're down to stats now. We actually did over 1,800 kilometers in the Toyota, which is pretty amazing. And we covered 4 national parks, so 4 more national parks to add to our list. As well, we are now on country number 4 complete.
And some fun facts for you. How about some Swahili? Jambo in Swahili means hello, and thank you so much. You say asante sana, and we would love to say asante sana to our guide and driver, Eric, who was just incredible for 11 days of adventure. His knowledge, his skill, and just being a wonderful fellow to travel with. All the best to you, and thank you so much to him and Michael and Sandra at Tanzania Safari Bug. This was really a trip of a lifetime, this portion. Asante sana.
We had one final night at the Airport Lodge Hotel before our flight, and then it was time to leave Tanzania. Where are we off to next?
We are leaving the big cats behind and headed to the big city. We're going to Bangkok, Thailand for some kickboxing, some street food, some temples, all kinds of stuff. Be sure to hit like and subscribe. We will see you there soon.